Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. We're here. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. With that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsors. Organic herbs and botanicals, skincare and edibles, wellness for body and mind. The Brothers Apothecary. Fine teas and remedies. Ronald Records. From indie gems to classic hits, discover the heart of local music. With live shows all the time, up close and personal, and regular releases on their in-house label. Ronald Records. Supporting the community, one track at a time. All right, thank y'all so much for watching. Again, shout out The Brothers Apothecary, Ronald Records, and Portland Water. Thanks for keeping us hydrated. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guests.
Hey, I'm Chris.
Hello, I'm Cal.
Hi, I'm Danny, and we are
Spooky Boys.
Hello.
Howdy.
Hi.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. Let's go in the same order. Why don't you have you each introduce yourself individually? Tell us a little bit about, who you are and what you do in the band.
I'm Chris. I play bass.
Nice. I also play bass.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. I'm Cal. I play guitar and sing as well.
I'm Danny. I play guitar, but sometimes I play the fool.
And what got you each into music initially?
Oh, that's a good question. I guess we don't always have to go in Chris order.
No, yeah. Whoever wants to go first.
My parents were in a band, and so that was always just at the forefront of my childhood, I guess. And so it felt inevitable. And also, I feel like they had alternative taste in music. I guess, kind of. And so hearing that growing up was pretty cool, and then they were supportive, so it was an easy route for me for sure.
It's always kind of cool the parents that listen to like the 90s.
Yeah, right.
Alternative.
Well, it's cool to just have parents that are like musicians.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not everybody is fortunate enough to grow up with it and be multi-generational.
Yeah. I moved to a new school in 8th grade, and everyone played guitar. So I decided I was going to be a rebel and play bass. And that's how I made new friends, because I was the only bass player in the whole school. So when I wanted to jam, had to come be friends with me.
Yeah, they had to go through you. I dig that.
Look at you now.
I know. No friends.
But two more strings.
2 more strings.
Yeah, you left the dark side. And what about you?
I saw the movie School of Rock.
Ah,
That made me want to play drums.
classic.
And then I gave up on drums really quick, and I got a guitar.
Fair enough. And then when did you move over to bass?
Like 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Was that like a necessity thing, or were you like, it's time for me to move on to this?
People just need bassists.
They do.
Yeah.
Bass
So-
are in high demand.
It's
Yeah.
true. It's true. I can definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
And then before we get into more of what y'all do in the present day, I do have a couple foundation questions I like to check in with everybody on. And this first one, it's one we ask early, it's one we ask often, and it's definitely a crowd favorite.
Oh.
What was the first album you each bought with your own money?
Oh.
That's a good question. I can go. Okay, so like the first album I remember like being gifted, like for a birthday, like I wanted it, was like the Dangerous Minds soundtrack that had like Gangsta's Paradise on it.
Oh, yeah.
And then I got a bunch of like Weird Al along the way. But I think the first album that I like took with my own actual money and bought at a record store was actually Borders, which was like Barnes and Noble competitor. Got Pinkerton by Weezer.
Oh, okay.
And I remember just like knew nothing about it because I was a Blue Album fan at that point. But when I first heard it, I was just like, oh, holy shit, this is it. The guitars on the first song are just like chainsaws, basically. So I got pretty lucky with that one, I think.
That's a great pick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of have a similar thing. Like, first album that I was gifted was kind of a cheesy one, but I still listen to it. The Beatles' greatest hits, The One.
Oh, yeah.
I remember getting that in middle school and just being like, what is this? Who is
That
this
sets the
band?
bar pretty high.
I didn't know they were like dead or had been not a band for 50 years. I thought, oh, cool. Because I went to Disneyland as a kid and they had a Beatles tribute band, and I was like, that's the people from the CD. Oh,
Damn.
I had no idea. But yeah, I remember my birthday one year, I got like $20 from my grandma, and I went out to Barnes & Noble, the Borders competitor. I got American Idiot by Green Day.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my first CD I bought.
Oh, man.
That is a surprisingly recurring first album.
American
for a lot-
Idiot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough,
It's like rock breaking into the mainstream kind of again.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Good one.
And what about you?
I honestly can't remember. The first image when I think that far back is Ricky Martin.
Okay.
That on cassette, but I don't know if that was the first one.
I mean,
Ricky Martin cassette.
we could say that's the
Yeah,
first. It's a pretty quality choice.
Ricky Martin or Lou Bega.
Okay.
No one fact checking this. Chris is 48 years old.
We just get some family members texting in.
Yeah.
Flag the episode.
Boom bop.
Yeah. Yes. I remember Bop.
And then what was one of the first live shows you each went to? That was like specifically one you wanted to go to.
Oh, man. Yeah. Again, cool stuff. So I saw a Beatles tribute.
Yeah.
Was it the same
Stomp.
one?
We might have been there.
Yeah, I think the one I saw was called 1964, the tribute. So they they did like the first trip to America. That was like their whole thing. So they didn't do any of the like later stuff. But then Stomp was like a huge thing. It was like rhythmic broomsticks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it was probably my parents' band because they played all the time.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think first real band that I was like, oh, this is like a real rock and roll experience. I was probably Reverend Horton Heat. They're like a rock psychobilly band, and I've probably seen them the most. But my dad liked to take me to those shows. It's pretty cool. I have a fun anecdote about one of those shows real quick. I was a kid drinking a Dr. Pepper, as you do when you're underage. And someone behind me, you could smoke inside it at this point. Someone behind me like exhaled their cigarette over my shoulder, like into your can as I was drinking it. And that was like
the original recipe.
yeah, that was like that's a core memory. So I think that's what started it all.
Oh, yes, the 13th spice.
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper's so crazy if you think about the guy who made it went into like a CVS and he made it off the smell of a CVS. He had no idea what it tastes like. He was like, this is what a pharmacy smells like, so I want to drink it.
He like stuck his tongue out.
Just, weirdo.
Just the air is palpable.
Yeah,
That's a true story.
that is true. Yeah.
Google it.
Everybody,
We're not fact checking
this
this.
is comments.
First show I went to that I was like, wow, this is really cool. This is something I want to do. I was, I think, 15, and I went to a local show that was at a church, but it was a hardcore show. And the church had no idea that it was a hardcore show.
Oh, boy.
Like moshing and just blast beats and shit, and they're underage kids drinking. And I just remember seeing like the people who worked at the church, like, what is going on? And just ending the show because there's like 6 bands on a bill, and after 3 bands, they ended the show. And people just decided to just keep hanging out in the parking lot. And I was just like, wow, this is cool. Because I like skated as a kid. I listened to like, rock and, screamo and stuff. I'm just like, oh, this is a cool outlet for me to, I didn't know there's other people who listen to this too. So it's cool.
Damn, that sounds wild.
Yeah.
Keep it local.
Keep it local.
I mean, it's no Denny's or McDonald's, but like,
I know, but we got to start somewhere.
yeah, they were the original ones.
I think it was My Chemical Romance when the Black Parade came out.
Okay.
2000.
Oh, hell yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, or maybe it was when American Idiot came out because I saw Green Day
So
2005 maybe.
did they, when I saw Green Day that time, My Chemical Romance opened for them.
It was 2 different
Okay.
tours. I think Rise Against opened for Green Day.
Man,
or
what
maybe Rise Against opened for My Chemical Romance. I can't
It's all the
remember.
same.
Yeah.
It's all black.
Yeah.
So many studded belts.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, and then before we officially get into y'all in the present day, how'd y'all meet?
Well, that's a great question.
Casual encounters on Craigslist.
Yeah.
Calvin and I.
Yeah, we met on Craigslist, which is so funny because I feel like, when you're not in a band and kind of new to a city, we're transplants, I get. Well, yeah, all of us.
There's no locals in
Sorry. Well, Skylar, who's not here to defend himself,
Unicorn,
is
yeah.
local. So there's our street cred. So there you go. But I moved here from Oklahoma in like 2015 and been hanging out. And I was in a band with Skylar before that. So we were in the Hugs, which is a band that will never die, no matter who's in it. But anyway, yeah, we met. Craigslist said, hey, surf rock kind of thing. Oh, is that what it was?
I was moving up here from the Bay Area, and I didn't know anyone. I didn't know anything. I was moving with someone who was coming here for work, but I just put out a little ad just to make friends and jam and stay in the music scene. And out of all the older 50-year-old men that messaged me and questionable conversations, Calvin was the one that was like, wow, we have similar music, we have similar interests. Yeah, let's hang out. And I remember first time hanging out with him was like a little date. I picked like a nice, cute little bar to go to, and we were just like,
I'd never been there.
Yeah. And we were just like, what are we doing right now? And then
What are we?
yeah. And then he took me to the Standard after, and Jello shots and good times.
Yeah. We met at like a fancy bar, and we're like, let's go to a shitty bar.
Yeah.
What was the fancy bar?
Palomar.
I don't even know what that is.
Off Division.
Yeah. It's like over by
It's like an airport from the 1960s.
Is it still there?
I think so.
Let's go. Let's go back.
Let's go.
We're actually moving the pod, you guys.
So we met, and then we just kind of started jamming, and then COVID happened, and we were like, okay, we have a song. We just like DIY'd a song, put it out, and people were like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, I guess a show. We asked Skylar. I reached out to Skylar. He was like the only drummer we asked.
Yeah.
I know a guy. What's up?
He
Ignored my Instagram message.
He did. I was
like, oh, we're SOL. And then I texted him, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
So how long do we have? We like set show.
We had 30 days.
Yeah.
We had one song, no drummer, and a show on 30 days. And that was like good motivation to just get this out of the basement, just get it out there and do something with it. And luckily enough, it worked out, and we've been pretty fortunate with a lot of stuff. A lot of things fell into place.
Hashtag blessed over here.
Put on a shirt.
Chris.
Different.
Yeah. And so Chris joined the party because we met Zach Bloomstein, who's a great
engineer to the stars.
Engineer, producer, recording master. But yeah, he recommended Chris because you guys are friends. Go way back.
Yeah. And you guys needed a bassist.
Yeah. We needed a bassist, and we took a good rec on that one. I'm glad. It's been good.
So it's just been the primary four members since the start of the band?
Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we had a couple people come and like try out bass. It didn't really stick.
Didn't work out.
Yeah, Chris was really the first like solidified dude. Yeah.
We had another bass player for, I don't even know how long he was in it.
A couple shows, couple months.
Maybe a month or two, yeah. And then things just went a different way, and we were lucky enough to get Chris. We poached him at the trade deadline.
Yeah. I didn't even own a bass then. I was just borrowing a bass.
On a bass, yeah.
Oh, and your bass story is crazy too, but yeah.
My
Glad
bass?
you're here.
Okay, your bass getting lost on a boat for like 9 months.
Yeah, I got shipped from Korea.
Oh.
And it took, it was like 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, it was delayed like 4 months. You were like tracking it on your phone. You could like
remember that, yeah.
where the ship
So
was.
slow.
What bass is it?
It's a Eastwood airline bass.
Oh, cool.
It's a map bass.
Yeah.
App, yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for sharing that story. Now let's go ahead and let's get on into more of the present day. We are going to get a super easy one out of the way.
Ooh.
Yes.
Pick the name.
Oh yeah. I mean, band names, right? So I think we were both like, we need a band name, obviously. So we had some real like serious, Mr. Cool Guy band names that were like, nah.
Just absolute stinkers in hindsight.
Do you remember any of them?
I had one that I was so adamant about that was like so slow because it took forever to.
Oh yeah, so slow.
And then I think I had Super Soaker.
Yeah, that's also good.
Actually would have been an all right one.
Yeah.
Like, I still think the current one is much better, but Soaker is not a bad one.
It could be an album or something. You can just save it. Yeah. I remember having a list of like funny ones, but one that I liked was like Charizard, but instead of A's, they were like V's. So it was like upside down. But this is like, you can't do that.
Alien versus Predator versus Roe v. Wade.
Well, I liked Ronald Reagan. Like it's
That's
a
a
Ray
good one.
gun.
Okay.
Yeah, almost went. But
I'd be surprised if that wasn't one already.
Yeah, I'm sure.
probably is. Yeah. Shout out to Ronald Reagan if you're out there.
There's someone in the comments writing these down right now.
Spooky Boys just kind of, it was funny. I think it just seemed like cute instead of like trying to be cool. and it felt right. So we just kind of like,
That was just reminding me of pizza rolls.
yeah.
The imagery of just some spooky boy.
Yeah, like, I'm a spooky boy.
All right, you spooky boys.
Yeah, I always think of the alternative version of the Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, there you
I
go.
know what that
Rowdy Rough Boys.
There it is. There it is. Yeah. But they could have been the Spooky Boys.
They
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Ooh,
That's our new merch.
I was gonna say that would be a interesting like alternative album cover.
Yeah, I love like repurposing old nostalgic
Yeah.
art.
So we're
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, it is definitely a cool name. I mean, it's easy to spell. It's easy to remember.
Thank you.
It's got an aesthetic going, and it's kind of disarming, which is nice. You know, you hear it and you're just like, all right, I don't think these guys are going to take themselves too seriously.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Now let's go ahead and let's talk about your writing process a little bit.
Ooh.
And we're going to break it up into chunks, but we're going to start right at the beginning. So when y'all get inspired, it's time to make a new track. How do y'all go about getting a track started?
That's a good question. I mean, I feel like there's never like okay, guys, time for a new song. There's just always something new.
There's always been, I'd say the consistent thing is there's been like a riff or an idea that, you know, I like to watch Kitchen Nightmares and play guitar. That's kind of like my mental checkout. If I think of something, then I say, hey, Calvin, what do you think of this?
Yeah.
And
He's like, smell it.
yeah, I've eaten this.
And I go, what's that? No, yeah, it's usually a riff.
It usually starts with a riff, and Calvin's really good at, you know, he knows everything music theory wise. I mean, he's a teacher in music, and it's just,
I went to school, so don't do that.
yeah. No, but he's really good at, if I say, hey, I have this thing, what do I do from here, or what's the next thing? Because I'll have like one piece, then he's able to help build the Lego set, and then lyrically he takes it from there.
Yeah, we always like flush out like the whole arrangement pretty much together. So like I have a riff, maybe Dana will write like both riffs, like I got a verse and a chorus, and like okay, it needs a bridge, or maybe it's like it just needs like a little, you know, arranging or what have you. But we always do the whole band arrangement first, like everything, and then once that's done, I'll write the vocals with suggestions, of course, ideas and things.
Try to think of vocals as just like another instrument, another
Exactly.
guitar, not like, you know, just, hey, everything has to work around.
Yeah.
this.
That's like one of our deciding core like values in the band. When
Like another
started,
lead
we're like,
guitar, yeah.
vocals are just, it should be guitar front, vocals fit in around that. So it's been really refreshing and freeing to write around, because I have like these very specific parameters, you know, like okay, I can't sing what the guitar is doing, or do if it works, you know, or like fit it in. So it's been really fun, and freeing to try to write in that style.
We have the Charmin approach, as we call it, where less is more.
Yeah.
Just let it figure itself out.
Yeah. I think that's actually a really cool concept of having like not the vocals as the front element.
Yeah.
Because that really like expands a lot of like what happens with the rest of the song. And actually that, I mean, that definitely says a thing or two about your guys' music too, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But once you get a track finished writing, how long does it usually take you guys to feel comfortable enough to perform it?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah.
I mean, there's been instances where we perform while we're writing it, just to like, because it's so weird when we have new songs.
You get excited.
You do, and a lot of times the new songs are the old songs to us.
Yeah.
Where it's, you know, we've been sitting on it for a month or two trying to work it out when we have time or in between shows. So it's just, you release a EP or a single and it's like, okay, well, we've been playing this in our practice studio for 6 months now. We're already bored of it. But
Yeah, that happens. We've also gone into performances where like it's not done vocally.
But we just,
So I'm either kind of making stuff up or just trying. I mean, and it really, you got to try it out live too and see. And I don't. Usually the new songs are good. Maybe it's the energy. Like we're more excited to play them, or the risk reward factors there. But it's really fun to play new songs.
it's refreshing.
Live.
Yeah.
And then as far as like building the songs go, you said you two primarily like put it all together. What does it look like after that? Like when they bring it to you, how do you like build into it?
I actually recently started practicing at home.
Oh,
Very recently. With the last two songs we wrote. Normally I would just try to write the bass part at practice, but I feel like it just doesn't work out as well. Like writing at home, I just feel like I have more time to focus on the bass part as opposed to that practice where I can't really even hear the guitars.
Yeah, our practice room is
tuning, the drummer's doing everything.
I have no idea what's going on.
I mean, our practice room is like this big, pretty much. So.
Yeah, it's kind of.
So you mean it's a small mansion?
Yeah.
In terms of fitting a drum set in, yeah.
No, I definitely know that all too well. When I was in one of my early bands, our practice space was, you know how like apartments have those external garages that you can rent out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Our drummer's family had one, and they cut it into a third. Like they built like a room in a room kind of thing with a door and all that.
Yeah.
And so in that room was a drum set, 2 guitar amps, a bass amp, the 2 guitar players and bass player, and a vocalist.
Okay, yeah.
It was real snug.
Yeah.
I can do
Real snug, especially when the guitar players both decided they wanted half stacks.
Oh, you got it.
And did not
That was the
think
thing.
it was wise to bring their practice amps that were original, that they had there to practice.
No.
Yeah.
But the real question is, did you have a mini fridge?
There was not
So that's where,
there was not room for a mini fridge. I mean, that I think the only spot on the floor that didn't have gear was the space in front of the door, so that the door could open.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rough, real sweaty, real sweaty.
For us, yeah.
Yeah.
Smell it, yeah.
All right, but I'm not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you guys. Getting back into the writing part of things, how do y'all deal with like creative differences?
That's a good question. So one of us will like bring a riff to the room, and then we'll just kind of like play it. And so there's like time to try it out, and you kind of know, this doesn't work, this does, yeah. And so like Skylar is a fantastic drummer. He's like really our secret weapon, especially live. But like sometimes like we as a generator of the idea have like a beat in mind, and so like he's very patient to like try it out. He'll kind of do his own thing, and we like usually meet in the middle. I feel like it's a good compromise. I mean, you feel like you're bossed around enough, like just enough, maybe not too much. Yeah.
I definitely feel like as time has gone on, and we've played together for years at this point. Was it 3 years or something?
I think we're going on our 4th year.
Going on, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of those early stages, insecurities, and objections of, well, what do you mean you don't like my idea? We've kind of checked our egos at that point.
Oh my God.
Just,
You can't.
yeah, I learned to not take it personally, and not everything's a hit or a great song. Sometimes you just have to have another perspective, but it doesn't mean you can't use that piece for another song. Change the key, change it up. Hey, maybe that one little riff can go to something else, but now you make 3 or 4 other parts. So it's never like, hey, this is scrapped, we're never going to play that again. It's like, just keep it in the toolbox, and maybe later down the road, hey, that could be cool. Or because you kind of get comfortable with your writing and your secrets and your tricks, and what you can do.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with like writing a song for the process and learning from it. And like, I want to be told that idea sucks, that's wrong, could you do it this way? Because like you get stuck in your own head, and you're like, oh, I know what I like, and I want it this way. But like, to be presented with, hey, try something else, that's really fun, because you're like, okay, yeah, it should be enjoyable by all. I want that. And I've definitely been told to change some of my ideas, and I've, looking back, absolutely the right move. Yeah, like,
I hate you and you're wrong.
hey, sing that less. Hey, or maybe like that guitar part's too busy, and it's like, yeah, you're right. You should always serve the song. That's what's important.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess you guys already kind of have that approach just by, like we were saying earlier, about how you try to like not prioritize just the vocals and things. It sounds like the elements of the songs and the layers that go with them seem to all kind of get a lot of attention and love in that respect.
I think the secret really is just write a song you would want to listen to, and then just, if you wouldn't even want to listen to your own song, how could you expect others to? And it's just...
and have a song that you can still want to listen to after like 100 times.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a band in New York called Petite League who... love those guys. Super nice. I was listening to them on Spotify, and then randomly one day, I found out they had put us on one of their like Spotify playlists.
Oh,
It was
that's
like a very cool small world moment.
Yeah.
We were talking to their singer, and he just told me, "Hey, good music always finds a way." He's like, "Don't get drowned out by monthly listeners or things like that. Don't worry about that. The aesthetics of it, I guess, is the right word, but
You don't have to write a hit, you know.
yeah, it's like just make a good song, you know, write something that you like and just let it do its thing."
Oh yeah.
Wise words. Thank you.
Wise words.
Yeah.
All right, now before we talk about you guys' music officially, when it comes to like playing shows and such, do you guys have any like pre-show rituals you do?
Green tickets. Yeah. No, I usually enjoy like a free beer. Well, let's see.
Just one responsibly.
We practice like once a week pretty much and hang out, and like going up to shows, we don't like try to put a lot of pressure on the performance of the show. So it's like we'll meet and just like run the set list.
Gig simulator, as we call
Gig
it.
simulate and just run through it, and we're like, okay, if it feels good, that's good, because that's us. So that's kind of like for rehearsals, day of type thing. And you're usually just hanging out early, but we don't have any like fun juju. Do it? No, yeah.
We do the little "Are you ready?" kind of thing.
Yeah.
Hate you.
Are you ready?
Kind of
Hands
stuff.
in the middle.
Yeah.
You got this, bro. No, I like to draw the set list. I like to draw a little picture on each one. So that's sort of like
Something
my
different.
like make it fun kind of thing. Yeah. Like we played Ron Tom's, and I drew a picture of Ron from
Tom.
Parks and Rec and Tom from Tom and Jerry, and like had them be together.
Isn't there a Tom on Parks and Rec?
Probably.
Could just
I
had
didn't pay.
both of them together.
You're asking the wrong guy. I'm the worst with names.
if
There
you drew-
probably
right.
was.
Yeah,
Probably was.
believe you.
But some kind of Tom adjacent character.
Yeah, but Tom and Jerry. I thought Tomcat was cool. That's his real name, right?
I
Tomcat.
thought you were just gonna have Ron playing Toms.
Yeah. There you go. All right, I'll call you next time I need an idea.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm there for it. Oh, all right. And then let's go ahead. Let's talk about your music.
Yes.
Yeah. So I jumped on ye old Spotify. And you guys have got music on there going all the way back to 2021. And I got to say, from the start, it clearly had a direction. Like, I mean, it was a little dreamy, a little poppy, a little indie, definitely a little surfer rock, but it was very full. It was very well delivered. And then Red Suzuki definitely had a bit of a change up sonically. I believe that was the first one. Was that the first recording with the full band?
Yeah, that's the first one with real drums on it. Yeah, so we had worked with my friend Will. Will Adams, you're out there maybe. What's up? Thank you. He produced and mixed the first EP. We just did it in his basement. It was pretty sick. Me and Danny.
Yeah, and then with the drums, the real drums, we went out to the Lyle Hotel out in the Gorge, and there's the music video for it. But
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know in the video it's just us trying to figure out how to track drums. And there's a lot of frustrated faces. But yeah, that was a great experience being out there in the Gorge, spending the day trying to do drums. Maybe we'll record the song in a higher quality one day.
The real one. Yeah, I mean, it was great. We had basically recorded it with Will, and we're like, well, Skylar's in the band now. He wasn't in the band when we did the first EP. It was just me and Danny. So those are sequenced, and then me and Danny play everything on there. But we were able to track drums and like fit it into the recording. So it was like drums last on that one.
Oh,
Basically.
interesting.
And so yeah, there's kind of some like he made it work for sure.
Some reverse.
That one's really
Yeah.
Gotcha.
yeah.
And that was also when Chris joined too.
Joined, yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of a team bonding experience to go out to the hotel and drink beers and into the night and karaoke together.
Pizza. There's
I
some
mean, it's
pizza.
definitely a cool track, and I mean, even from there, like the Which Way Up EP is really good,
Thank you.
and like those both kind of happened in the same year, so like the difference in sound and like the played experience by the end of 2022 was huge all on its own. And then I know everybody really likes Past Tense. It is a really cool song, but personally, I think the whole Late Bloomers EP
Oh,
Real
cool.
nice.
Thank
Big,
you.
Big fan. Big fan. Punch in particular.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
fun.
That's a good one. Thank
But
you.
I had a hard time pick. I really liked that one as a whole. I had to listen to it a couple times.
Oh, sweet. Appreciate
Cool,
it.
cool. Yeah,
Your
thanks.
most recent EP, Mental Vacation.
hmm
Definitely some of your coolest work.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it's. I mean, sonically, it's dialed. Like all you're playing is really good. Cellophane, I thought was a really strong opening track. And so I was like, okay, if it's this, what could be next?
Yeah.
And it just, every track just kept delivering. So it was a really full experience, and I really liked it quite a bit.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, we had fun recording it too. That was we always have a weird way of recording where everything is just live.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then if we want to overdub a keyboard or double a guitar part, that's about it. But
Yeah, everything since Which Way's Up, we just track it live as a band
Yeah.
and then sprinkle in the extra stuff,
yeah,
which is what you just said. But yeah, that one was really fun. That one was probably the most different experience because we worked with Ryan
Oxford.
yeah, and that was like more of like a indie approach. I think we're trying to like chill out some songs maybe, but we're also like
Yeah, Ryan's an awesome guy. He's extremely talented. He was the guitarist for Ela Bamba for a while, and his studio that he's made over on Alberta Street is just beautiful. It's really nice. I think it was a great experience for all of us, just kind of challenging ourselves to record in a totally different setting, I mean, I don't think we're his go-to genre. I know he does a lot of country records, a lot of like global kind of sound, so it's kind of cool to have those touches and record on tape too.
yeah, that was true. That was fun.
Man, that sounds like a wild experience.
Yeah.
There's a huge parachute hanging in the drum room.
Yeah.
It looks like you're falling out of an airplane. It's pretty cool.
Well, I mean, I guess it's better to look like it than actually be.
Yeah.
You're here.
But I am curious to know, out of all the songs you guys have available, what are some of your favorite ones to perform?
Ooh.
Oh man, I mean that stuff. Like I always like the rockers most because you just get that energy out, and the crowds really like connect with that sometimes. Because I feel like we're on the edge of like kind of older. We're not like kids anymore, I guess, playing, and so I feel like our concert goers who are also our age, they want to rock. They want to like get, sneak in a couple, head bops. So I feel like U-Turn's always been our like strongest closer. It's been fun, but also like the first couple songs like Hazy and Golden were always fun to play live. But now I like the new song. It's not out yet.
Oh, you're dropping them here.
Yeah. So we like a super rocker, and that one's been really fun to play.
Oh yeah.
What's your favorite song to play live, Chris?
Maybe U-Turn.
Yeah,
I think
that was fun.
it's always fun to play that last. What's that other song called that we highlight? I like that one too.
Oh, Highlight's fun.
That's a good one.
That one's cool because it's a little more like sappy, but it's got like a heavy like build up. So that one's fun to play live too. Yeah.
Yeah, I like U-Turn. I think British Columbia, the ending is always fun to do. Because I look at Skylar when he does his last fill, and I go and just flusters him.
Yeah, he's a good sport about it though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then I've got a couple more questions in this middle portion. This next one, do you each have like a fun band memory you can share with us?
Ooh.
Oh yeah. Fun band memory. Oh my god. There's just too many. I mean,
there's so many like little things along the way that have just been bizarre that we still talk about, like playing Corvallis, and Skylar claims to this day that I was watching him pee, and I don't even remember him doing that.
it was in the middle of the street, so it's
It's literally just in the middle of the street. I remember doing that skateboarding festival.
yeah, I was thinking that was really fun.
And all of like Sandy lit on fire, and we had to get evacuated. They're airdropping that red fire
Yeah.
stuff.
That was nuts. And what's crazy is even before that was like the weird cherry on top. Like, okay, there's a fire, you gotta leave. But just watching the like full bowl of skaters just like in and out.
professional skateboarders from around the world just skating and doing tricks all around you, and you're just.
Because that's the dream, right? Like when you think about like rock, you're on your skateboard, or you're like,
I've always
gunning it,
with skating since I was young.
So that was really special, I think.
Those are cool. I remember we have some of those big, show moments where it's like, oh my God, we're playing this venue for the first time. We've made it, and then. You play those venues regularly, not to have an ego or anything, but it's just like, wow, you remember those little markers along the road of like, okay, hey, keep going. Just we're having a great time.
I think one like that is we played, we have a friend band called Silver Tongue, and like one of our first shows we played in their garage. They were like hosting these like little garage shows, and they were just like so happy to have us. And we didn't even have a bass player at that point. I think we were like...
Yeah, we met
play it or something.
We met Chris through that. We met Zach.
Zach was there, and he was super nice. And we found out we were like kind of lived in Boston around the same time. And then that's when we met Chris. And to me, that was like, okay, we're in. As far as like Portland goes, it felt like the first like real kind of.
And that is the secret to all the bands listening. Make friends. I mean, there is so much room in the world for bands and music. You don't listen to just one artist. There's no need to be competitive or be like threatened by anyone. It's just make a community, because once you put a show together with great bands, everyone wants to go see your show. You'll make friends for life. Just it's all community. That's all. That's the secret sauce.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Did you get to share your moment?
What was the question? What were we talking about? Sorry, I was spaced out.
No, you're all good.
A memory, a moment of being in the band that stands out?
I guess one thing that I remember, and I've been thinking about it all day, is when we came back from Seattle.
Recently?
Yeah, the last time we played Seattle, and we stopped at Del Taco.
Oh, and it was a life-changing experience.
My first time having Del Taco.
Whoa.
And that's all I've been thinking about all day now.
Wow.
The Del Taco in Vancouver. So.
Well, we actually have some here. Look under your chair.
Yeah, I feel like I was baptized in Inferno sauce that ride back.
So good.
Wait, had you never had Del Taco?
No, I've had it a lot.
Okay, I was going to say, like...
Sometimes it hits the spot.
It hit...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. When you're in the mood for it, there's not exactly anything else that can kind of fill that hole.
Grilled chicken, soft tacos, or burrito, whatever it was. Del Taco, send the check. Okay, honestly, at this point.
Yeah.
Right? Jimmy, make sure to bleep the name if they don't. All right. Now, before we move into the next portion, this next question is probably the densest question in the interview.
Ooh.
But we've talked about, your experience with music, the actions, the reactions. But when it's just you and music one-on-one, what does music give back to each of you?
Oh man, I mean it's my whole life for me. I mean that's since I went to music school, and that was like getting there was a decision, and just since I've decided that's all I'll do to make a dollar
with it.
Yeah, so it's everything, but like what I feel like it does for me is it's like gives you like superpowers almost, like you transcend. Makes me cry, makes me feel like there's hope, and makes me want to rock out, which is awesome. I don't know, if you know what I'm saying.
It's hard to put in words. It's a love-hate relationship. I love it. It hates me. It's so hard that it's not just like a little. There's a jukebox you can put a quarter in, and hey, write a song. Hey, come up with it. There's some times I've played guitar or keyboard or bass or something, and I'm just like, why am I doing this? I can't think of anything. This is so stupid. How did I even write anything before this? But then there's times you go out on stage and you have a great time with your friends that I'm lucky enough to be in a band with, and makes it all rewarding.
You're valid.
Thank you, Calvin. I told you we were going to heal today.
What does music do for me? I don't know.
Think of Chumbawamba. What does that do to your
Oh man,
that song.
Yeah.
See?
Tub Thumping. That's a great song. Every Goodwill has at least 10 copies of that CD. It's great.
It's made exclusively for Goodwill.
That's actually where they release it.
Yeah.
It's never sold
Goodwill Records.
Stores. Yeah. It's a 1-of-1 deal.
Yeah.
It's like you have straight to TV movies, like straight to Goodwill Records.
Straight to donation.
Oh my God, Goodwill Records would be,
That would be tough.
there's
Yeah.
something here.
Yeah, we're on to
Goodwill, tap in.
something. Yeah.
Sorry, but back to you.
Yeah, I don't know. Gives you all the feelings, you know. Music just
Yeah.
gives you the feelings. And, you know, sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad, you know.
Sometimes it opens you up and you feel everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well thank you guys so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to some hypothetical questions. Yeah, and for these, sky's the limits. The questions are all made up, so the answers are allowed to be as well. But this first one is pretty straightforward. If the band could share a bill with any currently performing act,
Ooh.
so the only requirement is they have to be around right now and doing stuff, who would you each want it to be?
That's tough because is it like selfish? Just like, do I want to jam with my hero, or is it like,
Do you want to put a
what
good bill
bill would
on?
we fit the most in? You know, fit in with?
Yeah, let's do both.
Like, what's a good next step? I mean, shout out to my neighbors, Broncho.
Oh, tell us about
I
those.
feel like that would be really fun. We've tried, but they're slippery. They're hard to get. So I think that would be really cool. Play a show with Broncho. It would be like a good time, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like the two extremes of it would be like, obviously you'd want to play with like the Strokes or someone who has helped rock music for 2 decades
The
now.
founders.
Founders, the George Washingtons of Fender guitars. That would be a great one. But I think there is a lot of like smaller
Yeah.
artists that we listen to every day that would just be fun to be in the experience with them. I mean, we've had some pretty good times with some of them. I mean, we just played with Dayglow. That was one
That
that,
was a really good show.
yeah, that was
Well,
one.
that's really cool, actually.
Yeah, that was a cool one. French Cassettes is another one that we, you know, went from listening to being friends with, where we can text them and say hi.
That's
But what about you, Chris? I'm
Man.
still in.
I don't know. Maybe
Ricky Martin still going?
Lou Bega.
is Ricky Martin still?
I think he might be.
Gotta be.
Everybody, put it in the comments.
Yeah,
Give me a real wordy,
Tag him.
wordy response.
Yeah, probably a
One day
residency
stop.
in Vegas or something is probably always up too.
That still counts.
But maybe like Viagra Boys would be really
that'd be awesome. Yeah, those guys are cool.
yeah, or like Always would be a cool
Always would be a fun
one
one.
to open for.
We've met them. It's kind of a crazy evening. I don't know how much we want to get into it, but yeah, we sang Happy Birthday to their singer. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just so. Anyway, we won't get into that.
Wait, I have a question.
Felonies occurred.
If we got like, would you do Weezer? Would you do that for me? Yeah. I have dreams about playing with Weezer, like more than I should, I guess.
Guess it goes back to the start for you.
Yeah, that would be.
Full circle moment.
Yeah. And then subsequently, who's a local act that you each are aware of that you haven't gotten to play a show with yet, but you would like to?
That's a good question too. Yeah. The local scene's been really generous and awesome and great. But I don't know. I feel like Shivas would be fun because we kind of do like the retro rock thing a little bit.
Touch to it.
Yeah. So I feel like I know they're real busy. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that's
Who else is we haven't touched base with?
It's weird because you see like a lot of bands when you go to shows or when you're out and you talk to them. It's like just because they haven't played a show, but I don't know. I mean, we've been pretty lucky with local guys that we've not local guys, but bands that we've been able to play with.
Local folks. We try to say yes
Yeah.
to any opportunity, really. So
I mean, I can cheat the question and say people who I would love to play with again. Always love playing with Dakota Theme and Charts. Those are just two of the coolest people on planet Earth.
I love to play with Tenants again. They got
Tenants are
that
good
release
dudes. Yeah.
coming out. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Chris, do you have anything you want to add?
Man, I feel so bad because I don't think I listen to enough music. I don't even know who have we not played with in
Lou
Portland.
Bega.
Portugal, the man.
Man.
Yeah.
They are local, so that counts.
Yeah, does M Ward live here? He can hang out.
Yeah. The Sheehan.
Yeah. He's a pretty cool guy. Be fun.
Oh yeah. All right, and then for this next one, this is the silly question
Yes.
of all the
I've been waiting for this
hypotheticals. If the band's music could be the soundtrack to any movie, which would you each pick?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably go Brink.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good one.
That is a good one. Yeah.
he's inline skating, a little rebellious, a little coming of age.
Mhm.
You know.
That was a straight for TV movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Team Pup and Suds.
Yeah.
I think I would go a different direction. I would love Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
He just
Like, what's that opening?
like Quato lives, and he opens up with the guy's head in the shirt, and then U-Turn starts playing.
Yeah.
That would be. I think I've had that fever dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Total Recall is one of my favorite movies. That and Empire Strikes Back.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You can't touch that soundtrack.
No,
I don't want to ruin that.
Yeah.
Do you think if they did like that thing you do in like 2020, could it just be us? That'd be a great movie. I feel like people would dig that.
I'd watch it.
Thanks. Come on.
Thanks. What are you doing?
What's that movie with Keanu Reeves where he's surfing?
The Matrix.
Is that Break?
That's
The internet. Yeah.
Is it Point Break?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Break Point.
It's either Break.
I'm reaching a breaking point.
I'm pretty sure it's Point Break. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we could do the soundtrack for that.
That'd be fun.
Okay.
Have you seen that penguin surfing movie?
Happy Feet.
Surfs Up.
Is this? Yeah, Surf's Up.
Surfs Up.
I was
That's like
thinking
the
Ice
same thing.
Age, yeah, but
Yeah.
Surf's Up, that could be a good one. I feel like, isn't Val Kilmer one of the penguins?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, he must be.
I mean, if you have to
I
ask,
say that.
you're not ready for the
Shia
answer.
LaBeouf.
This is Surf's Up.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Oh yeah.
Is it the same as Happy Feet? Is it like a sequel to Happy Feet?
Might be Happy Feet adjacent.
It's because it's got penguins.
Roll the clip, please.
So Happy Feet, it's like a little too realistic. So the penguins' faces are like, okay, that's
real. It's home.
It's nightmare fuel.
It questions your sanity.
Yeah, but then Surf's Up's a little more silly.
Stanley Kubrick presents
Yeah.
Happy Feet.
Oh no, now I need that. Stanley, get on it, please.
Yeah.
Stanley, what are you doing?
All right. And then to wrap up the hypothetical questions,
Oof.
if you could each get one more album from anybody,
Oh my
could be
God.
alive, they could be dead, they could have not put out an album in 100 years, they could have put out an album yesterday, and they could certainly be Weezer if you wanted. Who would you each want it
They're
to be?
gonna do that. So try and stop them. One more, just one more. Please,
just
God.
another one.
Just one more. Oh, another album.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Is it guaranteed to be good or just an album?
Up to you.
I want them to.
Want it to be bad?
I don't know. Kinda. Sometimes, yes.
Yeah. Oh, this is tough because I gotta think like who put one out. I want more because it's the thing. You know what? I'm gonna say Hank Williams Sr. because he died so young at the top of his prime, and like when he died, Your Cheating Heart wasn't even released yet. So like I truly think had he had any time at all, even 5 years
You
to
love
like
your country.
mature as a songwriter, I mean he's the GOAT. So I feel like a Hank Williams album would be really sick.
Yeah.
In the grave. Let's go. And he's all public domain now, so come on, let's get those
There you
covers
go.
out
We got
there.
the covers out
Yeah.
there. I'm going to be the hypothetical also of if it was a really good album that they put out, it's guaranteed to have bangers. I'm going to say Tears for Fears in the mid 80s. I think Songs from the Big Chair, top 5 album of all time. And if they had another, Everyone Wants to Rule the World, Head Over Heels, Shout kind of album, that would be.
How many did they have? Do you know? Like, what was their? I know it's weird with those older artists because they have like a million weird like bits and bobs.
Weird like 90s albums that have really nothing on them, and then they
Contractual obligation.
yeah, and they break up 20, 30 years after. That would be a good one. You could do the cheesy cop out and say the Beatles, but I don't think they would even want to do
Did it though? Yeah.
Yeah. They just did
Congrats
that.
on your Grammy.
Yeah. What are you, Chris?
Let's see, maybe the Blood Brothers put out a new record.
Okay.
That'd be sick. Or
Saw them, did you?
yeah, they played at Rev Hall in November.
Give them a poke.
So nostalgic.
Reach out to them on Facebook. Just
Make a new record, guys.
They keep up on their Facebook account. That's a good question because now I'm like, oh, if White Stripes have one more, like, oh, your Cake might do one. I don't know. Alabama Shakes, they're back, I think.
They're back.
yeah.
They might do a new one. So yeah, new music, guys. Let's go.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for those answers. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and start wrapping this up.
Aw.
What can we look forward to between, let's say, now and July?
Ooh,
Speaking of new music, yeah, well, first, the most exciting thing is we're going to go play Treat Fort.
we're doing the Sears Tree Fort Festival.
Hey.
Yeah.
Playing with some pretty talented folks. Remy Wolf, Bright Eyes, I think Emil and the Sniffers.
And we got a lot of Portland bands are going.
Yeah, a lot of great Portland bands are going.
Represent.
Yeah, if you guys want to carpool and save gas, add us.
And when's that going to be? Can you remind me?
Yeah,
Like late March.
March 26th through the 29th.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, we should make a little announcement of which venue and stage we're playing on. So it should be a good time. We're staying for most of the festival, so it's a good opportunity to see some great bands, be a part of it, and hopefully see some people listening to this.
Yeah, hopefully someone listens. That'd be cool.
Yeah, we've got some new songs coming.
Yeah, I've got a couple singles kind of getting finished off, and my dream, probably not by July, but maybe a full length will be real then. I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah, I would say a single will be out by this time next month. And then full length, keep recording, find a little home. Because it's so fun when you record songs and they're your little babies.
Yeah.
Ready for school and
Go.
everyone's nice to
Little
them.
hats on.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone's nice to your
You
child.
wait at the bus stop for them.
Yeah.
You wait till they leave and you're just like, I said I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Well, that's dope. Actually, when you guys do the full length album, that's a word, come back and we'll do a tuned in episode where we kind of break down the album as a whole and talk through it in parts.
Sign us
Oh,
up.
my
Yeah.
favorite thing to talk about.
Book and ship it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. For this next one, go and look straight at your cameras. Tell everybody how they can find you.
Oh, you can find us on social media at Spooky Boys Suck.
At Spooky Boy Suck.
And we're streaming around the world, worldwide. And or you can find us in our shows, and you can find those shows on our social media.
Hell yeah. And then any other plugs, any other shout outs, anybody else y'all want to put on while you're on here?
Can we shout out you for taking the time to have us
yes.
on board and
Thank you.
being such a gracious host?
Shout out to Jimmy's Jambox. Shout out to Skylar, who couldn't be here. Sorry, Skylar, but we love you.
He's
Still.
dead to me.
Yeah.
If you play drums,
New drummer.
you know.
Shout out to who's a drummer and has their own practice space.
Okay. Well, we're going off the rails now.
No, yeah, I feel like we did a good amount of name dropping, just a healthy amount. But if we didn't mention you, we love you. We acknowledge your place in our journey.
Let's grab lunch.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. Now, with that being said, I've got one last question to go. But before we do, I'm going to steal the camera for just a second.
Okay.
As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And one more shout out to the Brothers Apothecary, Ronald Records, and Portland Water. Thanks for keeping us hydrated. And with that being said, the final question. And this is entirely up to your guys' interpretation.
I feel like I want hot ones.
But in all of music, what is an album you each feel is more on the obscure side? It's a bit of a deep cut. It's one not a lot of people would know, but it's one you think everybody should know.
Oh man, it's a good question. You're hard hitting.
I kind of said it with the Tears for Fears, but I think everyone knows all those songs. There is a sleeper album that I listen to whenever I go on an airplane and fly. It's called Laws, L-A-H-S, by the Allah-Las. And it was made just for traveling. It is an album just to listen to on a plane when you're traveling, and it's an amazing thing, because you will fall asleep listening to it.
But that's a good thing.
But it's exciting, like fun. It's, you know.
Oh, so it's a real sleeper album.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, it's the hardest question of all time, but I'll just go with kind of where I'm at right now. But let's do Broncho. Their album from 2011. I'll have to look up the name. We'll add it in. but it's
Last Historian.
Yeah.
My Car. Yeah, that's a good one.
what's that album called?
Well,
Anyway, there you go. If you haven't heard the album, it's the best album of that.
it's their anniversary of it. And they're doing a little.
Oh, that's true.
Yep.
It's not Can't Get Past Those. I'll just look it up and you can edit it, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't do any editing, but it will be in real time. But
While you waste all our time.
Chris, do you got one?
Thank you.
I don't know.
On the spot.
Maybe- I really like that self-titled album by Taking Back Sunday, and I don't think it gets enough credit.
Yeah.
I think that's one of their best ones.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't think it's like a deep cut. I guess they are really popular.
Just Call Me in the Morning.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those ones where it's like, it's probably been out of the limelight for a while, that there are a handful of people that either haven't heard it or haven't heard it in a long enough time that it's still worth revisiting.
Right.
It's definitely a super solid rec.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good.
Like anything older, yeah, kind of like isn't popular.
Yeah.
Fun band to see live. I mean, it's for some reason Adam Lazar is Southern now, but it's still put on a great show, and it's just.
If you hang out enough, you get the twang.
He's from New Jersey and has a Southern accent. But I love it.
Bad Behavior Bronze Show. Yeah, 2018, crushing it. My whole summer, driving around listening to that, and you won't regret it if you haven't heard it.
Hell yeah.
It's a banger.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you guys for those recs.
Cool.
With that being said, we're going to go and wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for joining us
Thanks for
today.
having us.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been.
And this has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Chris.
Hi, I'm Cal.
And I'm Danny.
And we're signing off. Later, y'all.
That's a wrap.
This is not a podcast. This is a show.
Keep jamming.